guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Happy to have you here. Today, when we talk about boots inside this game, 95% of the time, we're looking for speed as our main stat on boots because speed is so important in this game. However, a viewer in the comments a few days ago asked, when are we using attack percentage on our boots, or defense percentage and HP percentage for that matter? Could be a follow-up video, but today I want to focus on attack percentage on the boots on our nukers. When are we doing this? And I want to share 4 use cases, 3 of which I actually use on my account. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. I'm going to give you an example of each of these champions as I'm talking about them. So let's start with the most obvious use case here, and it is going to be one of my main arena nukers, Trunda Gilt Mallet. In all her glory, never misses leg day.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
2 moves, and then...
And we have attack percentage on her boots. She is my main arena nuker on my main arena speed team. So this is just flat out optimizing our nuker. And this is more of an end game use case, or at least, you need to be playing for a while. That way you can have good enough artifacts where you can find some speed on the substats. So on these boots, attack percentage boots, you can actually get speed on the substats as well. So we want to look for attack percentage boots with ideally crit rate and ideally speed as substats. Now, we don't have speed on this particular boots, but we do have crit rate, and it is part of a crit rate, set as well. So it gives us that extra bump that we definitely needed because we have her at 101 on the crit rate overall. But this gives us the luxury of obviously building a bunch of extra attack onto this champion. So we really had to prioritize finding not only crit rate because we have the crit damage gauntlets, but we're also pushing it a step further here and going away from speed on our boots. We talk about this kind of in the early game. You're pretty much always going to have crit rate gauntlets on all of your nukers, right? We want to make sure we have that crit rate capped at 100%, especially on our arena nukers, but really any damage dealer. You could argue even more important on longer battles such as Clan Boss to have them at 100% crit rate. But then after that, you want to escalate to crit damage. You want to try to remove those crit rate gauntlets and replace them with crit damage and try to find that crit rate from the substats of your other artifacts on that particular champion. Now we can do the same line of thought here, taking it a step further as I mentioned with the boots. So again, attack percentage on the boots, and we're just looking for speed where we can get it on all the other, substats, and of course the banner substats. You can see a very healthy amount, 21 speed on this banner. So that builds us a Trunda whose speed is still 211, not too bad, and 6100 on the attack, and of course 100 and 230, which is a little low for an endgame Trunda on the crit damage, but nonetheless, tons of attack. She's hitting incredibly hard. I love this build, and I can use it outside the arena too, because 211 speed on a nuker is going to be a-okay. Again, this is more of an endgame use case, I want to say, but this is what you should be aiming for on your arena champions, especially if you have your team set up where a CC champion goes before the nuker. Let me talk to you a little bit about what I mean. I'll show you examples as we go through on all of these champions, except for maybe the last one, guys. So we find the team that we want to attack here. We go to the Trunda team, and again, I have a setup going on here. So I have my Arbiter super fast, I have my Madame Serra super fast, Prince Kaimar super fast. He's gonna CC the enemy team, and then Trunda, it doesn't matter if she's necessarily as fast as the other 3 champions on the opposing team, excuse me.
So all this was for nothing.
Because they're all going to be to sleep anyway. You can see they're getting their turns here, but they were asleep. Trunda comes in. She hits them very, very hard. She has the attack percentage boots on her, and we don't need to worry so much about the speed, okay? That's use case number 1. Use case number 2 is I shared a video on this popular video. You guys love the blender, man. I shared a video on blender compositions, okay? So let me go ahead and show you, for example, Skull Crown. I'll show you the nukers that I was using on that team. So I was using Ray and Skull Crown. You'll see here, I built Skull Crown, again, very slow. 138 speed, 100 and 269, optimizing attack, optimizing crit damage, crit rate, obviously. Again, on the boots here, we have a savage set, attack percentage, we got the crit rate, we got the crit damage on the substats. We don't even care how slow she is. Unlike the first use case of our kind of endgame arena nuker slash PvE nuker, right? Where we're just maximizing speed from the substats. We don't care about speed from the other substats so much on a blender comp, because if this team is doing its job effectively, we're never actually even going to take a turn with Skull Crown. That's it. She's going to be attacking with her A1 as part of the ally attack, and that is the beauty of the blender comp. So we're going to use Farrakhan the Fat. We're going to use, so we built him really fast. We don't care about his damage. 309 speed, so he's going to be going after our speed booster Arbiter on this team, and then triggering the AoE attack with the A3 beatdown ability, increase crit damage, increase crit rate, and they automatically go with their A1s. And again here, they're not really even taking a turn, so we don't really care about their speed. Same thing with Rey. You'll see again attack percentage boots on her. This build is very weak. We really need to have her at 100% crit rate, but I just kind of threw this together for the blender comp video. Let me show you the blender, guys. Pretty simple to understand though, right? This is a situation where you do not need speed. You don't need speed at all with a blender comp, except for your speed booster, obviously, and on your nukers, you don't need speed. There we go. So here's a squad. Let's go ahead and give it a shot in the arena, and you'll see here Farrakhan the Fat is going to go second, and then everybody's going to die.
How lame would that be? You're lame for thinking that.
Almost everybody, Mausoleum Mage. But you guys get the point there. That is a very, very viable arena strategy. You can check out that video. I'll link it in the show notes below if I can remember to do so. But that's it, right? You don't have to worry about necessarily building them with any speed whatsoever. So that gives you the luxury of opening up those boots to attack percentage. The next one's going to be a little bit more niche, guys. Let me see if I can find a Tormund team here. But you guys know, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, I kind of have a thing going on for Dark Elhain, right? I love her.
What? Since when?
Since he died, you know?
And she is an instant activation. So we're going to kind of combine 2 and 1 in this category. I guess we could consider it a 5 different ways you can run attack percentage on the boots. But really, a Dark Elhain that has an instant activation or a full turn meter setup. Now, what do I mean by a full turn meter setup? We're not going to show you guys, but I think the easiest example is a Cardinal, right? So you have a team that is meant to die, and then Cardinal revives them all with a full turn meter to max, meaning they're going to go next regardless. Well, in that situation, if you want your your nuker essentially to die anyway, it would behoove you to build them with slow speed and again optimize their crit rate, their crit damage, their attack with attack percentage boots on them. The other use case is the instant activation of Dark Elhain. I have her built in attack percentage boots again, so a lot of attack on this champion, and then she has this ability, fills the champion's turn meter by 25% and instantly activates the A2 whenever this champion or an ally receives a freeze debuff. So an instant activation is not predicated on her speed. Let's go ahead and see it in action here, guys. Remind me to turn on my AC before I record these videos in the future. But you can see, I didn't know who got frozen. Somebody on my team got frozen. Dark Elhain, boom, she's instantly activated. That's the beauty of Dark Elhain, man. She's an amazing champion. You can also run her in attack percentage boots, even in Ice Golem. So that would be a great use case for attack percentage when you get the instant activation, or a Cardinal team as well. Let me go ahead and quickly show you the build that we're using here on Dark Elhain. Not too bad, right? So again, crit rate, a lot of crit damage, and a lot of attack, almost 6k, because we do have a Savage set with attack percentage on the gauntlets. She is really the best anti-Torment option with a build like this. And again, she's very, very slow, but it doesn't even matter at 137 speed. The last use case, guys, is the one that I actually don't have built right now, but again, it's pretty intuitive. Now, I'm going to show this video. I think it might have been my last video upload, or it might be the next one. I'm not sure which order I want to put these guys live. However, I shared my #1 unkillable clan boss team inside the entire game, and I love that team. It's the team that I run. I'm using Turvold as my DPS. He is not 100% mandatory on this clan boss team. However, the nice thing is, on a lot of unkillable teams out there, right? Myth Eater, Bat Eater, you name it, right? There's a lot of them out there. You can get away with running your DPS at fairly slow / reasonable acquirable speeds that allow you, again, the luxury of hitting this speed at 168. I can hit 168 easy, even without speed on my boots, right? I can just make that up in other areas. So I can put my nuker for an unkillable clan boss team in attack percentage on the boots and get more damage out of them. They're going to be unkillable anyway, right? So 168, we need to change our Turvo build right now. This is a really, really weak Turvo build. However, I would love to rebuild him with attack, his speed on the boots right now, but attack percentage on those boots instead. 168 speed's going to be easy to get. We can get speed from the banner.
I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your commentary. Hopefully over the rest of the pitch you reconsider.
We have no speed on the banner right now. What is this uncommon banner even doing on my account right now? But you guys get the point, right? It's going to be, I think the reason it's on him is because we had to take away a lot of speed to make him slow enough to fit the team. Either way, guys, this is going to be a great use case. And this is the fourth use case we're going to talk about again. Attack percentage on your unkillable clan boss NUKER, especially if you can get those speeds without having to rely on speed on the boots. That attack percentage is going to add a lot of extra damage throughout the duration, especially of longer battles and those quick bursts of damage, as we spoke about already in the arena with Skullcrown, Ray, and Dark Calhane, and Trunda. All right, guys, that is it. We don't have to make this video any longer than necessary, but those are 4 use cases, maybe 5, to where you might want to consider putting attack percentage on your NUKER. This one final kind of caveat to throw out there, guys, is this type of a build might not make sense for you if you're really relying on that champion everywhere in the game. We don't all have the luxury, especially I know this on my free-to-play account, we don't all have the luxury of building, one champion for one specific area in the game, but I thought it was still worth sharing because you can move towards these goals as you start to progress in the game. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.